Good morning from the farm. I fully plan to start this video showing you how to lubricate the pivot points on your mower or lawn tractor. I call mine lawn tractor since it's 26 horsepower. I actually just call it a tractor. But I'm so stoked because I think I found the cabbage. I've got to figure out how to turn the comments off on this channel in case that retired couple who spends morning and evening weeding says, "You goofball, that's not cabbage." But I think this is it right here. Scooby-Doo this row. Now, the truth is, of course, the cabbage should have been planted. It's a cold weather crop. It should have been planted early in March, but early in March I was wandering around the Everglades looking for panthers. I don't know what happened to the kale, and I'm wondering what this is. Guess I could try my plant.net app. I've got to get these up today. The lettuce before it gets hot. It's scheduled to be hot for a long time with no mercy. So I was wandering around the Everglades looking for panthers, and I had another adventure lined up for the summer. And then the garden plot was nowhere near ready for planting, as my son and I had just cast away all my reserves of seeds a couple years ago with the intention that this was it. No more gardening, just adventures. But the pandemic changed that. And I harvested the bee balm this morning. It's so fragrant. The Arabs use it as perfume. So I may try to figure out how to do that. If you have a second, check out my video of the call of the Muads and some Muezzin. I was thinking it was in Fez, but I've recaptioned it because looking at it, I'm pretty sure it was in Tangier. But at any rate, both places have that going on. And I think it's super cool to give gratitude 5 times a day. So I'm going to start this out with a lovely picture because this project we're about to do, lubricating the pivot points, is grim. First, let me show you one of the more difficult pivot points. There are 7 in my tractor. I never allow anyone else to lubricate them because I know they'll skip a couple. I would if I didn't care about maintaining my tractor. It's a very old tractor. She's limping along. She only goes about 15 minutes. I do keep her maintained. I just changed, I sharpened the mower blades and changed the drive belt. That was a whole lot of fun. Oh, while I'm on that, I'll show you something that my neighbor showed me, a trick, because none of the YouTube videos showed it. When you put this drive belt on, that's this. Of course, it's very tight, and my last one was very loose. It kept coming off, so it was time to replace it. The last step is to put it around the pulley. Well, you have to be extraordinarily strong to be able to do that. So I had my neighbor who works on these all the time come up, and he showed me a trick. Don't put that one on last, but put the one that you can reach on last. So that was pretty cool. Anyway, let me just show you one of these 7 pivot points so you can see how difficult, how ridiculous the design is, actually. Okay, so we're here, and then I'll show you arm's length is about to here, but the pivot point, where to go? Pretty inconvenient to get to. So it's this little nipple here. Ta-da! It's very greasy, so my finger will be greasy when I pull it out. And what you're trying to do is get this canister, which is only so elastic, to reach in to that pivot point, which is nearly impossible. So let me show you, not only is that a ridiculous design, but this canister in of itself. So it's filled with lithium grease, and it comes, I don't know, black, green, and white. The last time, it took me 3 hours to replace the spent canister, which is in here. You buy a canister about that size, with a new one because some knucklehead had put one in probably 2 changes ago. I think I know who. Upside down. you know, it's understandable if you don't look at the arrows on the can, this can be done. So that meant that the entire time I was trying to get the old canister out, which I could not jimmy out, grease was pouring out here, and grease gets on everything, and it doesn't come off, and it makes everything slippery. So then when I finally got that all cleaned out, the old one out, and I was putting the new one in, well, you have to compress down the top. You know, there's a little bleeder, you can get air out, but first you've got to get it on. Compress down the top, which is very hard because you're fighting against pressure. And you can't wedge it. See how it's designed? You can't. I tried against the doorway, against the ladder. I mean, I tried for hours, but of course it slips right off because you only have, you know, half of this to try to get against the flat surface. It just plain doesn't work. And just in case I'm, you know, missing something major, I did have a conversation with a couple guys who have been doing this, you know, for 30 years, and they said, yeah, it's a terrible design. The fellow who ultimately helped me, thank goodness, was coming up for, to dig the line for my high-speed internet, said that he'd had this problem, and sometimes it took him hours to get it on. And again, confirmed by the fellow who helped me with the pulley. All I'm going to mow today is the grass above the septic, because the septic field, because it's always lush. But it quit raining a couple weeks ago. It was very verdant around here, but I had some company coming, so I mowed the front yard, and it's parched. It gets a lot of activity as it is, you know, dogs digging it up and fireworks and divots from golfing and that sort of thing. So there are parts of it that are parched. My goal was to try to spread the clover because it's more resilient and heat resistant than the grass. Okay, I'm going to try to focus next time on not saying